Hello and welcome to the Dot Connector. Well, I'm going to talk today about solutions. It's a word I hear all the time and have heard over and over. What's the solution? Where's the solutions? And I see posts on the internet that say things like, that David Icke, he never talks about solutions. Well, actually, I do. And I've talked about them and written about them at length for decades. But you see, they're the wrong solutions. The solutions that people want are those that involve someone else doing it. So when someone like Trump comes along saying he's going to bring down the deep state and all the rest of it, well, that's a good solution because he's going to do it and those he appoints is going to do it and we don't have to do it. But of course, history shows different. It shows that when you give your power away to politicians, royalty before that, it don't tend to end well. Because if you're looking at solutions, well, let's look at the maths. There are apparently 8 billion people in the world, and the number of people in full knowledge of what they're doing, who are manipulating and dictating the direction of the world, is absolutely tiny by comparison with the 8 billion. So it should be impossible for the few to control the many, but look the way through history, and that's exactly what's happened. Epoch after epoch, generation after generation. Why? Well, there's the divide and rule technique where you get people to fight among themselves over different belief systems. And there's this theme of looking for someone else to do it. And so I've written at length about solutions which involve personal transformation, which becomes collective transformation. But part of the solution, you see, is a crucial part, is knowing what's going on and knowing how we're manipulated by nefarious people. And that's what I've been doing all these years. But I saw a post, or I was shown a post, sent a post, by someone on the internet who said, I'm interested to know if you can think of people who moan about things, but who never offer solutions or proactively try to bring about change. And my name came up in a few replies because I'm not telling people what they want to hear. I'm telling people what they don't want to hear, which is the savior they think is going to do it for them ain't there to do it for them. And so if you have a manipulation, which people call the deep state and Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and you expose that, well, in the early days of you exposing that, well, you're mad and strange and you're just a conspiracy theorist. But as it becomes, thanks to COVID and other things, becomes more obvious that that's the case, then suddenly people think, oh, yeah, you're credible. You said this and it happened. And then along comes the Trump and Musk duo, And they're telling you what you want to hear. And they're telling you they're going to bring down the deep state and they're going to bring down the World Economic Forum and all that stuff. But what they're doing is exactly the same as Klaus Schwab. They're just going about it a different way. They are demolishing the old system, which the cult they represent created, because they're now going into the next stage, far, far more extreme, of human control, involving artificial intelligence controlling everything, including the human mind and perceptions. So you are a conspiracy theorist if you talked about the World Economic Forum, Schwab, Gates, and all that stuff. But you are, in the view of previous conspiracy theorists, you are black-pilled if you point out that their new heroes, to which they have given their power away because they're going to do it for them, are not going to do it for them. They're just manipulating in a different way to bring about the same end that Klaus Schwab wants, which is an AI-controlled human world. And it's extraordinary to see how people can point out one ruse of getting there, and then think the other route to get there, targeting particular belief systems, is the answer, when it's just another expression of the problem. Now, is it a solution to stay quiet about that so that people get Pied Pipered to the edge of the cliff in the same way, a different route, but in the same way to the same end of mass AI human control? No, it's not. But if you point that out, and pointing that out is a solution because you are exposing the way that people are being scammed to the same end, then you never offer solutions, you don't. Well, maybe you should think of a few. How about that? Well, I'll think of a few. I'm going to give my power away to this new hero and savior. Yeah. That's always worked well in the past, isn't it? So, exposing what people don't want to hear is, as I've found decade after decade, is not going to win you friends and influence people. It is with those that have a more expansive view of the world, but with most people it's not. Because if your solution doesn't involve someone else doing it for you, then it's not a solution worth hearing. And what I've seen since particularly COVID is people coming out of the mainstream who bought the COVID hoax and so much else, who have now become the big names and stars of the alternative media that isn't really. That's the point. There's one, for instance, called Brett Weinstein, brother of Eric Weinstein, who's a business associate of the ubiquitous, infamous Peter Thiel of AI big tech fame. And Brett Weinstein, during COVID, used to wear a red bandana around his neck while at home. So he said he could pull it over his face when anyone came to the door. knocked the door. He had glasses to stop the virus going into his eyes. And he would wash his clothes whenever he had been out. And the next thing I know is he's brought in to the alternative media with big algorithmic support and backing and promotion. And suddenly he's, in terms of people like Tucker Carlson, the go-to guy for COVID. And I do not apologize for looking at that and going, what the fricking hell is going on? What happened is these people came in to the alternative from the mainstream and they've taken it over. Not only taken it over, they've sought to marginalize those that have been doing it for a long time, not just me, and who didn't buy COVID and all the other crap that they bought. And so this is a quote from Bret Weinstein, which kind of captures it. This is quite early on. We have an epidemic of friendly fire within the dissident community. The people involved need to level up or get off the battlefield. That should be obvious. Now, the arrogance of that statement is almost incomprehensible. And this is the way that this whole thing has worked. And they brought with them the fake, false solutions, the diversion solutions that are taking you to the same point by a different route, depending on your belief system. And to come in after people have been working for decades to expose this stuff and to say, if you're not happy with me coming in and saying what I'm saying, even though it's a diversion with fake solutions, then you need to piss off, basically. Get out of it. It's extraordinary. And Weinstein's not alone by any means. He went on to say, many dissidents do not understand media and communications. I was a journalist for decades, mate. And think that shouting the truth, even when no one is listening, will move the ball down the field. In other words, we're here now. And like I say, what they brought with them are the fake solutions, which involve giving your power away to new saviors. And what they do, it's hilarious, is they look at the people that have been doing it all these years and they say, we're getting bigger numbers than you. Look at the numbers of views we're getting compared with you. Okay. So why do you think that is, mate? Why do you think the algorithms love those people who are repeating the new alternative media narrative, Trump and Musk, right-wing politics? Why are they getting the numbers? Because of the algorithms. Why are they getting the funding, absolutely fantastic funding, some of them, while those who are challenging it and are continuing to do what they've always done, which is call out power and hold power to account, no matter what form that power takes,